agency, also known as True Start, and Detective Attorney Matt Blues is private investigator attorney, big fan of reality TV who likes to investigate true life crime events. So this time we investigate the case about a social media nomadic traveler influencer named Abby, who disappeared without a trace when her fiance returned home on her van, suspiciously refused talking about Abby's whereabouts, and then disappeared himself. So this inspired on true events, and it's just opinion, speculation. Chapter 30. Threats are made. Ryan's father finally joined the FBI in a search for Ryan, and interesting was that why he hadn't joined the search early enough. And they also said it's impossible to be on a run for so long. Somebody must have helped him, and he's still alive. Angry media threw many laundry baskets all over the front yard of Ryan's family, calling them dirty laundry. So FBI asked social media to behave because it's not an entertainment case, it's actually a homicide case, and respect privacy of the parties. There is a lot of anger directed at Ryan's parents. We have seen police, media, and protesters are still present at Ryan's home. But today, new records show that fury of this case happened just 40 miles away at the home of Ryan's sister Sammy. Service calls were made on September 19th, showing that her husband was getting messages from random people. Somebody sent threats to her family, and uh, Ryan's sister, who was declared as person of interest of disappearance of Abby, who is now deceased, and we're asking for extra patrol. Quote, in reference to threats we have been receiving, messages from random people talking about killing our family and kidnapping our children, somebody unknown doing this through the whole time, and based on what that we already seen at our parents' house, we are very concerned, the same as family told the press. So a deputy checked the premises and increased patrol, and on October 1st there was a call about possible Ryan sighting, and authorities started the investigation. Quote, authorities told us not to talk to you guys, and you are making my children cry, Sammy told to the press, trying to get them off her property. Every time there is a false caller or trespasser or false statement about Ryan's sightseeing, a threat to her family is made, and precious sources are pulled away from finding actually Ryan. So we're requesting all the calls made to Ryan's family. It's very likely that he's going to be found soon. FBI told the media. Now Ryan is just wanted on charges for a bank card fraud. Chapter 31. Final Autopsy. Titan County, Wyoming coroner Mr. Boomers was holding the press conference today regarding the final autopsy report for deceased Abby Pettit. According to the final autopsy report for deceased Abby, the cause of her death was by strangulation, apparently the most painless death on earth. Read my other novel about Jackie Holmes and Cop on Duty, and at least we hope Abby didn't suffer the most painful death on earth. Praise going to Abby. And there were other details revealed, and the press asked if Abby Pettit was pregnant, and the coroner said no, she wasn't pregnant. Other details are expected from FBI in the case there was as soon as FBI discovered Abby's remains at a campground at the Bridge Teton National Forest last month, the coroner ruled at first that it was homicide, but then he didn't disclose the case of her death, waiting for the final autopsy. Abby Pettit was traveling across country in a Ford Transit van with her fiancé Ryan when she went missing. Ryan was declared as person of interest in the case, and his whereabouts has been unknown for weeks now. And after he returned home to Miami, Florida on September 1st in a van without Abby, FBI wanted him for debit and card charges, fraud. Abby parents said they still believe Ryan was alive during a recent interview where they even detailed the day they learned about the daughter's death. Abby's father said, quote, Ryan didn't tell us that he returned home in my daughter's van without my daughter, actually, and Abby's parents began frantically texting and calling Ryan's parents, even thinking earlier in one of their texts that they were going to call the police. reporting the daughter disappearance. However, no response was made from Ryan's family, even though it was normal for Abby's parents to text and let Ryan's family know that they were going to call the police because they couldn't find the child. Abby's family believed 100% that Ryan was hiding. They all responded, quote, "We just think so because Ryan is a coward. We couldn't see we couldn't use even more words to describe it through social media. Anyone who lived in the Ryan family are cowards and they don't know how to stand for their actions with dignity. And Abby's cause of death would either be by strangulation or by forced trauma. Strangulation is often used as a sweetheart murder. In other words, the perpetrator was close and intimate with the victim. Chapter 32. Human remains. Overnight police cars blocked the entrance of Swampy, Florida Reserve while forensic team gathered the critical evidence trying to identify newly discovered remains that could potentially belong to Ryan. Investigators found that what appears to be human remains along with the personal items such as backpack and notebook. It's all belonged to Ryan. These items were found in an area that up until now have been underwater, and there was no confirmation the remains actually belong to Ryan now, who was the subject of more than 5 weeks manhunts and who was declared a person of interest of disappearance and death of Abby Petit. However, lawyer for Ryan's parents was telling the media that probability that it was Ryan's remains was so strong, but they had to wait until the forensic results come in verifying that it was actually Ryan's remains. And Ryan's parents flagged FBI investigators about the remains place. And father of Ryan located actually the remains, and they also located what was called the dirty bag. So they looked at the content of the bag and they found Ryan's laptop inside. Now the question is, where's Ryan's remains? And experts say it should take about 48 hours to identify DNA, fingerprints, and dental imprints. Chapter 32. Ryan's body found actually. A major update in the Abby Petit case just recently came up, and the FBI confirmed that remains found yesterday in Florida are indeed Ryan's. It confirmed earlier this later afternoon that the skeleton remains were actually just bones and teeth of Ryan, and the FBI did the comparison of dental records, confirming that human remains found in those places were Ryan. And attorney for Ryan's parents have been notified, and they had no further comment at this time. Please respect the privacy. So national manhunt for Ryan is now officially over.